Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. Guys, one of the biggest XRP YouTubers, or crypto YouTubers for that matter, posted his face today. It's BC Backer. Got me thinking, honestly, if we on one of my videos get like 10,000 likes, should I just do a face reveal, guys? I think I should, huh? So I'm just saying it right now. If we get like 10,000 likes on this video, I might just show it next week. I'm really debating it now, but I think I will have to. So yeah, just putting that out there, all right, guys? You know why, guys? I've had so many cool people that I've met now throughout the last couple of weeks. They're all like, "Why don't you show your face? Why don't you do it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, why would I?" But now, after seeing some of the guys do it, I'm like, man, maybe I should, huh? So if you guys get that like button just destroyed, we might have to get into it, and I might show you guys a couple of my bigger trades as well, just for fun as well. All right, guys, then, side note, make sure you check out the Bybit competition. As I've said before, I put in a lot of effort to get you guys 50,000 XRP. All right, still going on, still going strong. You can see the full ranking right here. We can check it out. And it basically means people are going to be getting free money for potentially only doing one trade. That is an example. Make sure you check it out. A link is down below. You need 250 XP in your account to trade for $100 worth and be referred by me to buy, but that's all you need. Check it out. A link is down below. All right. Mac Attack posted on Twitter. The legal tussle in the SEC v Ripple case continues. While Xrp holders expect positive outcome, Ripple calls out the SEC for neglecting over 30,000 requests for admission that would push the case towards a rapid consensus. There's a very important thing to understand here, guys, and that is that as it currently stands, there's like 30, I'm guessing it's almost towards freaking 40,000 hodlers right now. Let me grab a little sip of water. 40,000 hodlers right now that don't agree basically with what the SEC is doing. And that's really contrary and contradictory because usually the SEC is supposed to protect investors. And we've talked about this. I'm not going to keep you up here for like 10 minutes talking about this. I just wanted to say, I think it's due for Ripple to just call them out and say, hey, so where exactly is your morality lying when in the end you want to protect investors? That's the moral. That's what you're saying. That's your vision and what you do. Yet there's 40,000 people who come up and say, no, we don't want this. We are against it. We think you're actually hurting us. And the judge, of course, also being able to verify that whenever the SEC sued Ripple, investors who are just normal everyday Joes like you and I, they basically lost the majority of the money. Ripple lost something, but they still, quote unquote, have enough, so to speak. And I mean, they're the company who's being sued, so it doesn't really matter whatever they lose. But mostly the average Joe, whom they have sworn to protect, they're crushing them. It's pretty strange to me still. And I think it's due for a big call out. Also from some bigger news outlets. They're just going to come back to that and say, hey, SEC, what exactly was your thought process there and why? Then through RippleNet, financial institutions can provide their customers a superior cross-border payment experience. Explore their stories of success right here. So I've actually been talking about this like on the channel for so much. First of all, I personally think Xrp is better than Stellar. This is something which is a little bit 50-50 on the people. People often say, why, Dusty, what is that? And they say, no, Stellar is so good. I think that there was a dispute between the Ripple guys and Jim McCallum, who now founded Stellar, where there was just a dispute about where the company should be heading. Again, my own thought process. Jed tried to make a new company, tried to kind of get the same sort of greatness as Ripple already has, but it's not really working in the same fashion. It's a different sort of problem that they're solving, even though the technology is similar, but I just don't think that they can get on the level of Ripple. But again, guys, that is just my own opinion. That's just my thought process. I just know that Ripple has a lot of crazy partners. Stellar has too, but it's just different when you're working with these bigger banks and these bigger institutions, I guess. And Stellar kind of on the smaller side, the more peer-to-peer side. I don't know, guys. I'm more a fan of Ripple. Just putting that out there real quick. And you can read really far into how Ripple has been working with all these other companies as well, and how they've been using XRP for a lot of it too. Yet, I don't know if this is going to do too much for us. Because I think this is more so important for if you are a big company who's wanting to partner up with them, you want to kind of see how the customers have been going. Because we can obviously understand the process and the prospects and the positive sides of it. So I don't really think we need to read into it. What we might want to put some more time into, though, is this. Ripple put up a quick little tweet here stating, "It's myth-busting time. Our principal developer advocate, Hammer Toe, breaks down the fact and debunks the biggest misconceptions about the XRP ledger." It's actually really interesting. We've seen this before, by the way, so don't think it's completely new. It's actually from September 16th, and I've covered this for you guys. But one of the questions I get very often, or actually one of the statements that people make very often, is the XP ledger is decentralized. Is centralized. I get that so freaking often. that people come up to you and say XRP is crap. Even some of the biggest YouTubers in the crypto realm that I've spoken to have said XRP crap's not good. You should stick away from it. You shouldn't talk about it on YouTube. It's so bad, blah, 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 blah. And I've talked to you guys about this before, that these individuals told me that. Probably next week when I'm meeting up with a lot of people, they're going to talk about the exact same thing. Explain to me why it's so stupid. The thing is, though, guys, I believe there's a lot of money to be made, and I actually honestly believe it's a decentralized piece of technology. And Ripple puts it on the website. David Schwartz, who I crowned the king of cryptocurrencies, the king of decentralized technology, everything like that, he also explains exactly the concept of why it is that way and whatnot. And it's just something that I think people need to get into and need to kind of open their mind to, instead of just believing whatever they've read online. Because there's always been this criticism towards Ripple and XRP and the XP ledger because they have a different way of solving things. And very often people come up to you and say, yeah, but XRP, it's a banker's coin, right? So why would you want that? And I keep telling them, well, if there's money to be made, and if it's a really good problem that they're solving, it doesn't matter to me if it's not the true decentralized nature that you guys think about with, for example, the proof of work, because it is still decentralized and it fixes a problem for people that is so freaking huge, let's put it like that. And they keep telling me, yeah, but crypto is supposed to be this, that. And I keep telling them, well, don't you think that the majority of Bitcoin holders, I'm not talking about Bitcoin maximalists that have been here from the start. I'm talking about the majority of Bitcoin holders. Don't you think they would be happy if a Bitcoin ETF were to come, or from a different perspective, if banks were to adopt Bitcoin or this, that? They often say, yeah, most likely. But the true Bitcoin vision, and that's where I stop and I say, yeah, the true Bitcoin vision is decentralized peer-to-peer money, right? But if you get banks to intervene, which ultimately is what gives it mass adoption, if you get an ETF coming out there, ultimately leads to institutional adoption. All that stuff is beautiful for the price and beautiful for the adoption of the crypto, but it's not staying away with the core or staying to the core of cryptocurrencies, which are peer-to-peer decentralized payment systems anymore. Then again, the more that this just adapts, the more that we're also seeing, you can't really have this technology that's purely peer-to-peer anymore, and it will always stay true to the vision, if you ask me, without intervention from some of these larger industries, because you just don't want that, basically. The people want money in the end of things. People want gains, people want greatness, and people want to solve a problem. Peer-to-peer money is great, but if a bank can ever adapt it or get into it, then all we're kind of betting on is the banks will completely destroy themselves or so, which might happen, but that takes such a long amount of time that, you know, maybe Bitcoin is just too early for its time, basically, or people just can't adapt to the technology just well enough. Maybe it's just going to take time. But hopefully you guys get my idea, where people were usually, or in the past, really stated on the idea that it should be a certain type of thing, that crypto should be a certain type of decentralized peer-to-peer thing. And when you talked about XRP/Ripple, it was too banky. But ultimately now when you talk to Bitcoin maximalists, they're often saying, yeah, look at this bank that started to adapt. Look at this country started to accept it, yada, yada, yada. And you might, again, two steps back and think, okay, if a country starts to accept it, there most likely were some deliberations as to why it's smart for them to do so. You most likely also can kind of back the idea that then it's, you know, a government backed, not as in the government is, you know, having holdings for it, but the government accepts this crypto, which ultimately is actually another questionable thing on its own. But that's, again, a story for a different time. Now, Ripple accuses the SEC of unwillingness to respond to inquiries in the court case. This is not new. This actually came out a couple of days ago as well. But this is actually two different things. So at the start here, I was talking about mostly the 30, 40,000 people who are basically trying to intervene. Let's call it like that. What he's actually talking about, the article itself, this part, is request for admission. And you can see it right here too. Request for admission is basically Ripple asking the SEC, hey, we want an answer on this to kind of get where our lawsuit is about. And as it currently stands, the SEC is like, no, we don't want to give it to you, and the judge has to make a decision on that. I have so many freaking lawsuit updates coming up, and I know about it already, because the SEC just doesn't want to let Ripple and the public know why exactly they sued, what exactly was wrong in the contracts and whatnot, and a lot of those small parts. They just don't want to let go of any information, which I also find weird. Like, if you're like the SEC, you want to sue somebody, but you also want to make things clear for investors and you want to help protect them, why would you give clear rule books out? I don't know. And now some crypto news generally. I'm going to go through this rather quickly. Limited crypto mining, not a priority for Intel. Intel, pretty well-known company with the chips, all right? And so people have been asking, do you want to kind of do something about your new GPU feature to kind of get crypto miners away? They said, no, it's not really in our best interest. We don't really care. Then NFT deposits and withdrawals are now live on FTX US for institutional favorite Solana. Pretty big deal. I don't personally use Solana too much, specifically now for NFTs. However, a lot of you guys most likely do. And we're talking about FTX in the US. So that is pretty huge because I don't think there's that much access for US NFT hodlers. If Bitcoin dominance triggers an alt season, these coins may hike 5 to 10 times. I think most coins will, so I don't think you need to do too much of a digging. I just think most coins right now that are in the same kind of setup that I've been talking about for a little while, the altcoin setup basically, they will actually just skyrocket once Bitcoin's dominance comes to the right area. But more importantly, guys, once Bitcoin just gets the gains, gets the run going, and then starts to fall off where altcoins take over. So basically, Bitcoin taking some dominance back and then shredding it again. Altcoins will flourish. I still think so. And little fun fact. I don't like to talk about this, but if you invested $100 into Bitcoin in 2011, here's how much you'd have now. As I said, I don't like to talk about that point specifically, but what I do like to think about and talk about is that if you just invest now, it's always better than investing tomorrow. Almost always. Unless, for example, the price drops 40% and you were just unlucky. But usually it's like time in the markets is better than timing the markets. And it's true for most people. Very often they ask me, oh, but I tried to buy and sell, but I got scared and I sold it. But I tell them, you know what? If you actually want to make something out of your investments, just buy something and kind of forget about it or just kind of keep it. Don't try too much unless you're willing to put in the work to learn it properly. But it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and usually it's just better to just, at least in my opinion, buy something and stick with it. I guess today I'm just too hyped up to get a good little story for you guys here, man. I'm noticing storytelling is not as good as it usually is, so sorry for that one. We'll get to it though, all right? Tomorrow, a lot of cool videos are going to be coming out. A lot of cool crypto news is going to come out, so stick around. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll definitely see you guys again in another crypto video today. Check out the Bybit competition, as I've said, guys, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today.